Question 5 asks students to justify which energy system becomes the predominant energy system after 90 seconds. So we need to obviously look at justify, predominant meaning the main system, the one being used, and it's after 90 seconds. I've just drawn a line here on the 90-second mark, as close as I can get it, just to show that we're looking at from here across which system is going to become predominant after 90 seconds, not at the 90-second mark. So as we know, ATP system's gone, can't be that one. The lactic acid system's it's on its way up, but following 90 seconds, it's gone. It's used all its source of fuel, and it's starting to fatigue and slow down at that intensity. The system that's on the way up, from this blue point onwards, has to be the aerobic system. So justify, we're going to have a look at justify. Support an argument or conclusion. So you need to support an argument to say why the aerobic system is the predominant energy system. If we go and just look at our answer here, starts up the top. The predominant energy system, or the predominant system after 90 seconds of activity. The graph shows that both the ATP-PC system and lactic acid systems have dropped or began to drop in terms of their energy contribution. In contrast, the aerobic system, there it is there, is increasingly contributing energy and therefore is the predominant energy system. Straight away, he's told me which is the system, which it is, aerobic, and why. Excellent. That's justification. Then he's even written here the word justification for the ATP system. And in his response, these were in red, so they stood out. The ATP-PC only lasts for 10 to 12 seconds, and it takes up to 2 minutes for all of the PC stores to be resynthesized. Therefore, the ATP-PC system would not be able to produce energy again until 132 seconds if it is needed, and therefore it cannot be the predominant system after 90 seconds. It has already been depleted of the 10 to 12 or at the 10 to 12 second mark. He even gives an example to support what he was saying about the ATP-PC system. We go to the lactic acid system. The lactic acid system lasts for 30 seconds to 2 minutes at moderate to submax intensity before fatiguing begins. In this case, the athlete begins to fatigue, so the lactic acid builds up at the 90-second mark, and therefore the energy contribution from this system begins to drop. Due to the athlete fatiguing and the dropping, he will move into the aerobic system predominantly, and therefore the lactic acid system cannot be predominant after 90 seconds. He's told me why, through his justification. That's a very, very good aspect of his answer there. He then gets on to the aerobic system. And again, that was written in red. The aerobic system is the predominant system after 90 seconds. And remember what our board of studies says? Support an argument or conclusion. So he's supporting the argument now with the use of the aerobic system. After 90 seconds work, as seen in the graph, the energy contribution of the aerobic system is gradually increasing. Thereafter 90 seconds, after the 90-second mark, as opposed to, and he goes down a little bit further, if I get on the next page, sorry, as opposed to the other systems decreasing in any contribution. The aerobic system can continue to work for this long period of time as opposed to the other two systems, shorter lasting systems, due to the presence of oxygen. The presence of oxygen enables the aerobic system to produce many more ATP molecules as the Krebs cycle and electron transport system can be activated. The aerobic system can also last for 3 minutes to 2 hours at a moderate intensity or even longer, virtually everlasting. It would have been nice to have a little some form of a final justification here. This reinforces or this supports my position, but throughout the whole answer, he's given it a very, very good justification. What I was looking for in your response is pretty much what this student's given me here. Why it isn't the ATP system, why it isn't the lactic acid system, but why it is, more importantly, the aerobic system. And you needed to mention the aerobic system was the one that was going to be. And reinforcing throughout the whole answer was the other aspect that you needed. So all three systems had to be included, but you had to argue the case as to why it was the aerobic system.